Okay, buddy, like I was saying, we have a solid base for your stance. So we got the stance down, toe of the front foot in line with the heel of the back, 45-degree angle, 50-50 stance. So we're all good there. So we're going to take our jab here and we're going to push it right off our shoulder, straight out. We talked about the kinetic link coming up through the floor, through your hips, out through your shoulder, through your elbow, through your knuckles, at the very last through the knuckles. Okay, side view. Take my butt, shift it into it too a little bit. All your weight right out in there. Let's call it shotgun jab. There's many different jabs, but this is the one we want. We want to use this. We're going to work on it later on. You can add some of the different types of jabs that you use in combat for sparring. I don't think we're going to be sparring. You're 61. I'm 61. Janny would kill me if I get in there in the ring and spar. But still, it's nice to know how to fight, things like that. Okay. I want to mention too. When we strike, a lot of times there's a tendency, and I want you to work on this from the very beginning. There's a tendency to straighten up. We don't want to do that. We want to sit. Chris Bowers plays sit down in your punches. Your punches just sort of sit down. So you get your hips here. So as I move forward and strike, my hips want to have the same level. When we do Taekwondo, we're doing these movements that you do at each belt level. We practice them all the time. You're moving in a certain pattern around the floor, around the room. We work very hard on keeping the head level the same, because if you're going up and down, you're losing power. So you're trying to keep, plus it's prettier, and that's what form is about. And a nice, clean technique, very clean technique. So in boxing too, if you can keep your hips and head same level, attacking and retreating, unless you're defensively maneuvering with the head ducking and things like that. But when you punch, you don't want to be straightened up, because you start losing power. You start straightening your knees. So you want to keep them just soft. So it's almost like you just want to sit down. You always say sit down on the punches. That's all it is. So I wanted to mention that. And then we talked about the kinetic link. You ever get snapped at a time? I know you were a lifeguard at Monty's. They would we get these towels and twist them all up and then just crack somebody. Oh, man, leave a big welt on Larry's ass. Okay, so that towel is loose and flimsy. It's a rag. It's not dangerous at all, or there's nothing to it. And then all of a sudden out there, twang, right at the end for just a moment, smack. All that power gets generated through that towel, whichever you throw it in there with your hip. It's like throwing a frisbee, and you get that towel going out there, and then you're changing directions at the last second, and that change of directions causes it to rigid, like a lightning bolt for just a moment. Okay, so we want our punches to have that same type of power, because when I'm throwing that punch, as I'm coming out here, it should be loose. It looks like I'm tight, but I'm really going to be loose, 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 tight, loose again. Real quick. But right out there, right at the very last second, pow, you just a little bit of impact. And that's when your hand squeezes too, because you're going to come out of real soft hands, come out nice and soft, and then crack, and then whichever punch it is, you want to get that nice, so be the towel. It's going to be just like that towel. Whack, okay? So, positioning is pretty important. So even though I said from the beginning, there's some things I want you to work on so you don't develop bad habits. It's easier to make a new habit correct than break an old habit to make a new habit. So the right hand is always up by the jaw. I like to touch. I don't like to get hit. I've been hit. It doesn't hurt, but it impedes your success, that's for sure. So you got your hand up here for protection. It's open, and the glove, inside the glove, a lot of times it's open, because if you're countering with the right, then it's going to close on impact. So I got my hand up here. This is in here. This is like a shield. So I kind of keep this. I know Taekwondo, we got our hands out a lot, because we're fighting kicks too, so it's a little bit different. But in boxing, I want to collapse everything in and make them like shields, because now this thing is like a body shield. And I really want this shield here, because that's where my liver is, behind there. And I give it enough damage. I don't need any help there from you. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to keep these hands in here. So when I'm throwing my jab, I don't want to drop my right hand. I want to keep it up here. So a lot of times, as I keep your hands up, I like to even just increase it a little bit, especially because then I'm going to be working on a hook later. Hook coming across like this. So they're coming that hook. I want to actually tighten this up a little more, because the counter to a hook, ironically, is a hook from them. So that's something too. Somebody's pretty savvy. They see you wind up, they see a hook coming, then their reaction is to hook back. And if you're dropping your hands, you're eating theirs. Okay, so if you hook, so I throw a little bit more emphasis on my guard. That's something that I think I'd like you to practice. Again, you're never going to need it, but it's nice to know. Remember the Peloton story? At least you have some residual, some skills. Okay, so let's work on a couple here. So what I want to do is you'll be practicing pushing from the floor up through your body, slow motion. Get out, relax. These knuckles, right? I'm always striking with these. Even through the gloves, I want to feel them coming in there. Okay. So the next thing I want to show you, we'll be practicing this, and I want you to come back, and then you're going to work on the double jab, stepping and stepping. So first of all, when I jab, every time I jab, I like stepping, so my hand and foot go on the same time. That way, I'm taking my body weight, moving it forward, put it right in behind that. Okay. So I want to match everything's going to match that way. So that's something you want to practice. So when I'm doing a double jab, the step, I got my next step. I'm going to extend it out there. My goal is to get this between their gloves. That's my goal. I can't hit it from here. I'm kind of far away. So I just want to get this between the gloves. I'm taking my step, keep my hips low. Then from here, I'm going to bring my body into my fist. Back foot steps, slides in a little bit, and I push off again, and I push from there with my shoulder pushing into my hips, and then come up the kinetic link again. Come up. So it looks like this. Okay, so that's a double. So we can do a triple jab too, but the triple jab this time I want you to move on it. So I'm going to take my feet, do my step, boom. I'm going to bring my weight back down to the right leg. I'm going to step again to the outside. Boom, boom. I'm hitting. I'm going to move in my back leg to follow. Instead of falling straight forward, I'm following in an arc to my left. One more. And the thing about this, I started attacking this way, putting something for him to look at, and now I'm attacking this way. So the receiver has a punch coming in his face, and quickly another punch from here, and quickly another punch from here. So they have to move to me. So if they're doing that, they're not attacking me. So that's one of my things. So I want to set that up. Coming into the body, and another hook to the head, and move out this way. So there's all kinds of things we can do from there. Like again, probably never going to need it, but might as well practice it. Now we have a skill and a little bit of deception here. Okay.